Hey there, this is Chris with Patch going over the Washington County Commissioner's agenda, April 29th with Commissioner James Booth. How you doing today?
Good morning. How are you, Chris?
Doing okay. So we had a meeting today.
Yes, we did.
Weekly meeting?
Weekly meeting,
All
9
right.
a.m. every Thursday at the Commissioner's office.
All right.
1115 Gilman Avenue. It's in the JFS building.
Right. So anybody who wants to show up?
It's open
welcome
to the public.
Open to the public.
Yes.
Excellent. So what do we have today?
Okay, so today after we approved the agenda and we had a few additions and such, we approved our previous minutes. We had a low amount of bills. We had under 200,000 this week. So it's very expensive to run this county.
Sounds like it.
It is. So that was the lowest amount of bills that I have seen so far.
Okay.
So the sheriff asked for an additional appropriation out of the sheriff's sales tax.
Okay.
And what he was doing is he was upgrading some storage in the body cams
Yeah.
and the car cameras. Obvious reasons, so that you can have more storage of what's going on at the scene of a crime, of an accident and such. The other appropriations, the EMA had some unemployment. You'll see those funds moved around
Okay.
as they need to be. The other appropriations, the Board of Elections was giving back some grant money.
Mhm.
It was those kind of things today.
All right.
There was a couple acknowledgments, which was just a signature by the president. Family and Children First, an award of community as a support grant. Family and Children First Early Intervention Grant, and that has to deal with kids 2 years and younger, along with their kids. That's a grant to help those families.
Okay.
So, and that goes through, of course, Family and Children First.
Okay.
JFS, and you heard him speak to that. That's talks about their 2-year plan that they go over every year, and it shows. And what they're looking at is they're seeing how well they are helping out the county.
Right.
So that's what that is for.
Okay.
The Child Support Enforcement Agency had, this is something very simple, they had an
Yeah.
old copier, but when you have county equipment,
Okay.
that has to be disposed of properly.
Mhm.
So in other words, if this chair right here, if there's 10 chairs, if there's another department that can use them, that gets put out to all the departments.
Mm-hmm.
And if nobody can use them but they're still in good shape, then those could be sold and then come back into the county that way. In this case, this was an old copier where the paper tray was broken.
Mm-hmm.
It would cost way more to repair it than to dispose of it. So
Right.
we're disposing of it. So that's why Kim Lowers brought that to our attention.
Seems interesting to have disposal of an old copy machine as an official line item on a county agenda, but I understand.
At your house, if you had an old copier,
Yeah.
you'd throw it out. You wouldn't even think twice.
Right.
But when you're using public funds,
Yes.
you have to make sure to dispose of it open and transparent the correct way.
Got to do everything right.
Right.
I understand. Okay. So now we have the liquor permit for application for Merrick Realty LLC. What's this?
This is an application for transfer of a liquor permit.
Mhm.
We have tabled this 1 week. If there's any public comment, that they would come to next Thursday's meeting and voice whether that should or should not happen. We only acknowledge that. We're not the liquor authority,
Mm-hmm.
but we acknowledge, but we give it a week so that if there's any public comment, the state approves these liquor permits.
Right. So just out of curiosity, so why is it on the agenda at all?
The commissioners have to acknowledge it.
Just that's it?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't really have any authority to stop it or approve it?
If there was public comment, then yes, then we could approach the state and say, hey, we've had some public
Okay, so
comment.
you can
Yes.
intervene. Oh, okay, so that
Yes.
makes sense then. All right,
But we do not issue liquor permits or
Right.
anything of that nature.
I see. Delinquent sewer accounts?
These are past due sewer accounts
Okay.
that we have to send letters to. And then the next one is a certification of delinquent sewer accounts. These are folks that are severely past due.
Mm-hmm.
And when it gets to that point, the only bite that we have to recoup the sewer bill is to have the auditor apply it to their property taxes.
Right.
So that's what's happening here at this point.
Okay. Now we had some engineer business here.
The engineer, his Teamster union contract for his workers,
Uh-huh.
we approved that.
All right.
They did a minimal raise. They changed a little bit on their comp time. They can only take so much comp time throughout the year, and they can only accrue so much comp time.
Okay.
They also, what was pointed out, and you heard in the meeting, that they have a different insurance company than what the county has, just like the sheriff's department has. They have this. They went with the same insurance company through the Teamsters Union to get a lower cost of insurance. They've saved approximately $60,000 over this next contract on their health insurance. So that's superb.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not nothing.
Exactly.
And we got H2o funding here.
It's not a funding. This was a letter of support from Liberty Township.
Mm-hmm.
So this Board of Commissioners has been very aggressive for the Devola Sewer Project funding. If this project has to be done, and this is the same thing I said in the meeting, if we have to do it, there are funds out there that can pay for this. H2o Ohio, an earmark from the governor. We've applied for member-directed funding through Bill Johnson's office federally, which we've asked for $7.5 million. These are funds we've all asked for. This isn't anything, we went as far as we can go. So these letters of support from township trustees convey that support, because this isn't just a Devola Sewer project. This is a county project because it affects the whole county.
Right.
This is dollars and cents. So if $15 million is spent in Devola, that will directly affect the disposable income of a lot of people.
Right.
Especially when you're talking about a huge tap fee, a huge sewer bill. So we're trying to get that down as much as possible. So going after these funds. And as you know from before, we were successful in receiving $1 million from the Army Corps of Engineers.
Right.
So out of 15 million, there's one. So we have 14 more to go.
There you go.
That's my opinion.
All right. Now you guys brought sewer rate discussion back to the table.
We did.
And I believe you approved a tax rate increase.
Yes. So I've been very in-depth into the county sewer.
Okay.
There's a lot of infrastructure that, in my opinion, hasn't been maintained as well as it can be. When you have pumps, grinder pumps, throughout the western part of the county, and I speak of along 339, there's I&I issues, and that's where your rainwater gets in there. I don't.
Just for people who don't know what I&I is.
That's your rainwater intrusion or groundwater intrusion. So it's the I&I.
Yeah,
intrusion.
it's like where there's a break in the line, and then rainwater gets in, and it creates a lot more work.
And one thing that cannot be emphasized enough: if someone has their downspouts going into the county sewer, that is not allowed. That is an EPA guideline that you cannot do.
I'm sorry, the downspout?
Your downspouts off of your house need to go out into your yard.
Okay.
I'm sure that somewhere in the county there are still downspouts. The old way of doing it, years and years and years ago, was just to run it down through the sewer, your rainwater. Well, now it's so expensive to do, we have to pay to treat every gallon.
Oh, it's a per gallon thing.
Right.
Okay.
So like today when it's raining, if you have 20 gallons run off of your roof through the downspouts into the sewer, that is 20 gallons that has to be treated.
Right.
So that needs diverted out into the yard away from, if that's the case.
Right.
I'm sure it's not a huge amount, but if you do have that, as you post this, that would be something that someone could correct. That would be great.
Okay.
But what I found out in the repair and maintenance, and I say that because it's an operating expense, maintenance, so on and so forth, OEM. There's not been the level of maintenance that I would like to see. So these pumps need to be taken out once every year or 2 years and refreshed. In other words, you're going to rebuild the pump. These things run 365 days a year. When the pit fills, it pumps it. So they have to be reliable. We just had a lift station go down in Little Hawking. I visited this site. I saw the pump. And there's a lot of H2S, hydrogen sulfide, which is deadly to humans, that can occur. So you have to keep that sewage moving. Once it hits air, it can create that.
Oh, okay.
So that lift station alone to repair that is going to be around $20,000.
Oh, okay.
this increase, and I suggested an increase, and I tried to be as close as I can so
Right.
that not to make money on the sewer,
Right.
to keep it operating at a break even.
Sure.
I worked with Jeff Carr, who is our sanitary engineer.
Yeah.
He's our professional that analyzes all the numbers.
All right.
And I am on the phone with Jeff 2, 3, 4 times a week. All day yesterday we spent together because this is serious business. He's the technical expert that does this day in and day out. So that's who you rely on, the experts, the people who know what's going on. Working with the sewer department employees also to know what's going on the ground. To go out and visit these sites, I'm a hands-on guy. So I went out there and I looked at that pump. Pop the lid, take a look, see what's going on, boots on the ground. I just don't sit in that office. We get out and about, see what's happening on
Right.
the ground. The $3.65 increase
Okay.
per bill is going to generate somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000 difference overall
Okay.
in the little over 1,100 customers that we have
A month.
a month.
Okay.
But when you take into account the one repair we had because the rails were corroded away,
Right.
the pump went down, and we got out actually pretty lucky because we thought maybe the line was clogged up, and if so, then that would have been even more expensive. When you take that 20,000, it'll take us 4 or 5 months just to recoup that cost.
Right.
See,
Yeah.
so that's one pump out of 2 pumps on the same lift station. So this is why there has to be an increase. It's not to make the bill go up.
Mhm.
That is not my goal,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to operate at a break even.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I try to get as close as I can. That's why you're not seeing a $5 raise or a $3 raise or an $8 raise. To me, that just wasn't the right thing to
Yeah.
do. So it wasn't a $4 raise, it wasn't a 3. So try to get it more exact.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So that's why we went that route.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. And so we had some other meetings here at 9:30. We had some individuals from Behavioral Health Board and Integrated Services. You mind telling me a little bit about that?
Integrated Behavioral Health Board is work with Integrated Services and also JFS.
Just
And
what is Integrated Services?
What they do is they are a support service. So if, let's say that you've used some stuff that wasn't legal,
Okay.
if you've gotten in trouble with drugs, the drug court and such, these are the support services that can help you out.
Okay.
So I can't emphasize enough that if a person needs help, it is here. You don't have to drive to Athens. You don't have to drive to Columbus. You don't have to drive 100 miles away. It is here in Washington County. They have a brick and mortar office here on site in the county. Now, what they also do is they go to the homes so that people are more comfortable in the homes too.
Mhm.
So, but it's not just for drug and alcohol abuse. It helps seniors also. It just such a wide variety of services that they do. So I would urge anybody that needs help, you can contact JFS. You can contact
I'll put some links in there.
Absolutely, yeah. So refer to the county website, refer to your website, just whatever works. If you need help, the county has the services here available. Now, I'm also a previous police officer, and I cannot say enough. If you need help, it's here.
Right.
But I am a strong law and order advocate. Don't deal in this county. I am a strong advocate for the maximum. That would be my thoughts.
For dealers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It just has to happen. But I'm not a judge. I'm not a legislator. But I am all for what our first responders, meaning our sheriff's department, roll up on every day. They don't know what they get when they stop a car.
Right.
You never know. So I'm very thankful we have a great sheriff's department here, and we have great judges here, and I think they take into consideration all the intent of what they see. So
Okay. Excellent. So this was just them giving you an update on the services they provide in the county,
Correct.
basically?
Yes, they've been here a little over a year, and they shared with us how those numbers have rose over the past year and a half.
Okay, and it's been a lot. It's been
Yes.
okay.
Since the services are here, they didn't know what they were going to get when they came here. Usually it takes 60 referrals for them to come and put a permanent office in. They came blind faith and put an office here in Washington County.
Okay.
And the results have been great for them. They like serving Washington County and plan on staying.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's plenty of issues to be
Sure.
taken care of here, so that's definitely, to me, that's no surprise.
Correct.
So we have the Ohio Public Defender. That was an update as well.
That was great news. So under the previous budgets,
Mm-hmm.
the county was responsible, we'll just speak of fiscal year 2021 because that comes to an end here soon. Our share of the public defenders, and these are folks that can't afford an attorney on their own,
Mm-hmm.
of a little over $260,000. That's what it's going to cost us.
Okay.
Under the governor's new budget and what the House passed, they're going to cover, is what we're told, up to, and maybe even more, 96% of the total cost. That has taken our contribution as a county
Uh-huh.
from $264,000 to we went ahead, I'm sorry, $237,000, I apologize. $237,000, and we approved their contract to our contribution is going to be $16,900.
Oh wow.
This
Wow.
is a savings of over $220,000 to the taxpayers of Washington County.
Wow.
That's superb.
That is, yeah. So this is just because of more funding being allocated by the state?
State dollars coming to the county.
All right.
So that is great news.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the OSU Extension update. This was...
They came and paid us a visit.
Mhm.
Amanda came and I'll pull that up. Oh, right here it is.
Mhm.
So she spoke of what the OSU Extension does for the county.
Yeah. Because
Sometimes
I've seen it.
but
and
it's not always known what they do. So
Yeah.
some of the highlights that she had was personal finances, which if you struggle with simple things like balancing a checkbook,
Mhm.
setting your budget, things like that, they can help you with that.
They have classes or something?
They have
or-
classes.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. They also have child care professional development hours for certification.
Okay.
And there's a lot of daycares in the area and such. And she also spoke about ServSafe, and that is the food safety training
Mhm.
certification to where a person just going into food safety can get this level 1, level 2, and it has to do with people in charge and managers and such. And you carry that with you. There is a fee for that. And I would refer you to the OSU Extension website. I'm going to post this on my Facebook page so that it's out there. And that's just what Amanda was speaking of. So I would urge you, if you need those certifications or would like to,
Mhm. This is for waiters and stuff?
it teaches, I believe this is for people in charge.
Oh, is it? Okay. You see manager level 2, and then
And
person
then over
in
here
charge.
is 1 day basic food training safety, which meets ODH level 1.
Okay.
And so I believe that is, it ties to the health certificate.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so this is for like restaurant managers and whatnot.
Restaurant managers can be restaurant workers too.
Okay.
So, but other than that, that seems to be about everything that we
Perfect.
done today.
There was an executive session, so I don't know if that's public, if you're going to make an announcement about that, or if there's even any announcement to be made, but I do have to ask the question.
Sure, we had an executive session where we were discussing some personnel issues.
Mhm.
There was no decisions that came out of that executive session, and of course can't discuss what was in executive
course.
session. So,
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
thank you, appreciate it.